Good morning, small business community. My name is Leland McFarland and from Small Business Trends, and you have arrived at the Small Business Spotlight, where we like to shine a light on the news, deals, and interesting stories that a small business owner should know, might want to know more about, or just kind of interested in it. Anyways, with that said, I wasn't here last week. I got to admit it, I missed a week. I hate missing a week, but I missed it because I'm trying to move, trying to sell the house, and there was just a few things that needed to be done before getting this house out onto the market. But later Thursday, we were able to get it sold on the market and got a couple of nibbles. But housing market these days is a little soft for people who are trying to sell. It's a great time to be a buyer if you don't mind the interest rate. But yeah, it's an interesting process, especially from the seller's point of view. I'm very much so looking forward to buying because there are some pretty good deals. House prices have gone down, but that's not necessarily the best for me. So that's why I wasn't here last week, but I got a good show for you this week. All right, let's start off with some news, shall we? Starting off, we have a report from Zoho. A new survey commissioned by Zoho is warning small businesses about a growing password security threat. The report, conducted by Tygon Advisory Corp, is based off of more than 3,300 respondents across 9 regions and 6 industries. It found that many companies understand the dangers of weak passwords and stolen credentials, but have not done anything to put protections in place against those kinds of threats. U.S. businesses appear to face higher risks than the global average. According to the survey, 34% of U.S. companies reported being victims of cybercrime last year, compared to 32% worldwide. One major reason is application sprawl. Many employees now use 15 or more business apps every day, creating more logins, more passwords, and more chances for attackers getting in. Now, if you get one password, usually, I'm guilty of this as well to some extent. If you get one password, chances are you're going to have all the passwords. The report says small businesses are especially exposed. More than half of companies with 250 employees or fewer do not have a dedicated security team. That often leaves password rules and security habits up to busy employees. The top threats include phishing, weak passwords, insider risks, credential stuffing, and unmanaged third-party access. These attacks can allow criminals to steal data, spread malware, or gain control of business systems. The survey also found that most companies believe AI could help improve security through threat detections, automated policy enforcement, behavior analysis, and risk-based access controls. But there is a major gap between awareness and action. In the US, 91% of respondents say AI is important for security. Only 9% have said that they are ready to use it. Not even using it, just, I'm ready, let's do this. Message for small businesses is clear: spending more is not enough. Companies need simpler systems, better visibility, stronger password controls, and security tools that can keep up with today's digital workplace. If you're wanting to see this whole survey, it's very fascinating information. I'll have a link in the description. But yeah, it's very interesting diving into this data. I'm not calling kettle black, but I can be guilty of this a little bit too. I'm not as bad as putting a sticky note with a password on it, but I don't use stuff like password vaults or in some case multi-factor authentication, and those are some of the essentials. But getting into biometrics and using password they multi-factor authentication, but you get like a little password thing on your phone to be able to get like a one-time password on your phone, bypassing SMS. Can't remember the name of that, but it's all very interesting. I've done an interview with Molly Drai from Zoho. We talked about these numbers. I'll have a link to that interview in the description. Very interesting interview. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. Intuit has launched QuickBooks Workforce, a new human capital management solution. I've never really liked the word human capital. It seems a little dehumanizing for something that is human resources at its core. Many businesses struggle to manage HR tasks across numerous disconnected tools, costing them roughly around $120,000 annually. QuickBooks Workforce aims to change that by integrating crucial HR functions like hiring, payroll, and performance management into a single platform. David Hahn, an executive at Intuit, says that this launch is a major upgrade since QuickBooks Online debuted 25 years ago. The platform promises to automate many HR tasks, potentially saving business owners up to 4 hours a week. Key features include an automated payroll agent and better integration between payroll and benefits data, which helps simplify decision making. Businesses already testing the platform, including MEC Incorporated, report significant improvements. CFO Emily Radaker noted how the solution has simplified daily management and provided a clear view of labor costs alongside financial data. QuickBooks Workforce is tailored to different businesses' needs through 3 service tiers: Workforce Payroll for smarter businesses, or for smaller businesses. That didn't make sense. Workforce Premium for established firms, and Workforce Elite for mid-sized companies. While the platform offers many advantages, transitioning to this all-in-one system may require training and data migration. Despite potential challenges, QuickBooks Workforce presents an opportunity for businesses to better manage their resources and adapt to changing demands. The platform will soon be available for eligible QuickBooks customers, enhancing efficiency in workforce management. If you could ever find a tool that just saves you just a little bit more time here and there, all the better. 4 hours a week may not seem much, but if you're doing a 40-hour week, that's 10% of your time. That's a good chunk. And to just have that back that you can then reinvest into your business in other ways, getting more customers, finding more ways to save time and money, all the better. And they didn't mention a price, but I'm hoping that this is just something that's included, but I doubt it. So I'll be interested to see how much this costs, and is that something that's, worth the price? My guess is, based off of what I've seen within QuickBooks and Intuit, it usually will probably be at least worth the price. Salesforce has launched an innovative initiative to hire 1,000 AI native graduates. This comes at a time when the job landscape for recent college graduates is changing, with entry-level hiring dropping 6%. Salesforce's new Builder program aims to recruit tech-savvy individuals to help develop its AI platform known as Agentforce. Graduates today are not just consumers of AI, many of them are the forefront of its development. Salesforce Chief People Officer Natalie Scardino stated that this AI native generation is proficient with AI tools, using them daily and becoming 3 times more effective than their predecessors. For small businesses, hiring AI native talent could boost operational efficiency and drive innovation by fostering collaboration and new work processes. However, bringing in this new talent also presents challenges. Small business owners may need to consider cultural fits, as these workers often have different expectations and work styles. Additionally, businesses must invest in necessary training and resources to integrate these new technologies effectively. Training AI skilled workers could also be challenging due to high demand. Salesforce Emerging Talent Playbook provides strategies for small businesses, emphasizing that they need to attract, assess, and activate AI talent right from their educational experience. So this is one of those interesting things. AI has been around for quite a few years now. And it's at this point to where the people that were entering college are the ones that have basically had their whole college experience with AI, from the beginning to where we are right now. And so they've had themselves quite the training course when it comes to utilizing AI and probably in their college experience. And so the people that are coming out are going to be a little bit more stronger with AI as opposed to potentially people who have to integrate this in with their current workflow. But I would be still a little hesitant when it comes to someone, hiring someone specifically for AI. I mean, AI development is one thing, but, from the standpoint of a small business, hiring someone that's a specialty in AI, it depends on the business, depends on the role. You don't want necessarily someone who is going to always look for the AI short road and potentially hurt your business in the long run because it wasn't implemented correctly, or it wasn't something that needed to be taken over by AI because it became too impersonal. So I'll be interested to see how this kind of plays out for Salesforce. The SBA has announced a new grant. The U.S. Small Business Administration, or SBA, has launched a new grant initiative aimed at supporting small manufacturers across the country. They are making up to $50 million available through the Manufacturing in America E2G grant initiative. This program is designed to enhance U.S. manufacturing sectors by providing crucial resources for organizations that support small businesses. The SBA Administrator, Kelly Loeffler, emphasize that this initiative aims to restore American industrial strength and foster job creation in vital industries such as aerospace and shipbuilding. The E2G program offers free business courses and one-on-one counseling to help small manufacturers improve their operations and workforce training. Eligible applicants for these grants include both nonprofits and for-profit organizations that have been in operation for at least 3 years. The application deadline is June 15th, so interested organizations should prepare their proposal quickly. This program not only aims to strengthen individual businesses, but also seek to develop a stronger manufacturing ecosystem in the U.S. By providing training and technical assistance, it hopes to tackle the skill gap that many small manufacturers face. However, the application process requires preparation, and some organizations may find eligibility requirements challenging. To support potential applicants, the SBA will be holding informal webinars on May 11th, May 27th, and June 3rd. This initiative represents a pivotal moment for small manufacturers looking to thrive in a competitive market. I'm all for this. I love these kinds of initiatives to where it's not even just about the grant. And yes, getting some money, always good, but to be able to educate companies on how to streamline their processes, how to be a bit more competitive in the market, that's golden. That's really good information to be able to have. And if you know of someone in the that has a manufacturing company, or you yourself are in this, suggest signing up for this and seeing if you can get a little bit of assistance to be able to help grow your business. All right, last one. Adobe has introduced a new productivity agent in its Acrobat software that aims to change the way small businesses share and interact with information. This tool enables users to create engaging and personalized experience, moving beyond traditional methods of document sharing. Who knew that just sharing a document can be elevated into 11? It helps small business owners streamline how they gather, organize, and present important information. This productivity agent allows users to combine various types of content like PDFs, documents, and notes into one interactive agent. This makes it easier to prepare for meetings without the usual hassle of managing different files. For instance, it can bring together sales data, competitor insight, and productivity information into one place. The tool even provides tailored suggestions and automatically creates multimedia content for different audiences, such as concise videos for executives or interactive reports for sales teams. Real-time updates ensure all information is current so businesses can operate efficiently, especially when swift decision-making is crucial. Additionally, the AI assistant included with this agent can provide context and answer questions, reducing repetitive communication for business leaders. Audio summaries help recipients quickly understand the main points before diving deeper. While these features promise enhanced productivity and engagement, small business owners need to be aware of potential challenges such as learning to use AI-generated content effectively and ensuring data privacy. Various organizations, including Vice News and artist Kid Cudi, are already utilizing these innovative tools to engage with their audience. Overall, Adobe's new capabilities offer exciting opportunities for small businesses to improve their communications and build stronger relationships in the digital world. I've actually gotten to play around with not necessarily this new Spaces. I haven't tried out this, but I've tried a lot of their new Adobe Acrobat AI tools, a lot of the stuff that's kind of been mentioned here, and it's very useful. It is very handy to be able to have just section, they call them spaces, but basically this like project folders, and all of the information in that is what the AI uses. And I even tried tripping it up a couple of times, trying to ask it questions outside of its data set, and it would just come right back to the data that it actually had and not try to come up with something to basically appease what I wanted. And if you haven't checked out Adobe Spaces, Adobe Acrobat recently, it's not just a PDF maker anymore. There's a lot more going on, and I highly recommend, especially if you're in sales, marketing, in a few other industries. It's a very useful tool, and it can help save a lot of time and potentially money. All right, we're done with the news. Let's head on to the deals. First up, at Amazon, we have this Duran portable power station. 600 watts, that's where it's usually at. It has a 1200 watt peak. If you are a person who is out and about working, construction, where power isn't necessarily a guarantee, and you need to power something like a table saw, this is a good option to be able to bring in power wherever you need it. And it's about $120 off. Again, I don't know how often this deal comes, but it says it's a limited time deal. I probably won't be making a short about this because it's a limited time deal. But if you're in the need, construction, it's a pretty good option to be able to get power where you need it. And I know that you can hook up solar panels to this to be able to charge them as they go. Next up, Sennheiser has these headphones 47% off. I know Sennheiser does really good work when it comes to their headphones. I've not personally used them, but really good option if you're looking for a good, well-priced headphone set. Dell laptop. This is a Dell 14-inch laptop, and I picked this one just over $1,000, but it has like 32 gigs of RAM, and with the price of RAM right now, that's like half the price of the computer to get that much RAM. Really good price. The specs looked pretty good too. If you're in the market for a new laptop, this one's like $400 off or $170 off. So go check it out. Again, I'm going to have all of these in the description. All the links to these deals in the description. On to what I feel is my favorite, the Reddit stories. All right, my boba shop has suddenly gone down in sales. I own a small boba shop. I'm not great at marketing, but one of my videos went viral on TikTok and it helped my business immensely. But now that's died down. I have very few customers now. I just hired someone because I was financially able to pay someone, but if these kinds of sales are the ones, I can't sustain an employee. I want to do more marketing, but I'm out of ideas. What can I do to boost sales? And there's an edit. The situation is a little more complicated than I first kind of put out there. We bought the shop from a guy who was selling it on Facebook. Who here has bought a business off of someone on Facebook? Let's continue. The shop has been open since 2019. At the time, we had absolutely no experience and decided to buy the names for his business as well. But it turns out that while the business was open for 7 years, he would close it a lot for several months at a time, which obviously caused his clientele to go down. A few months into owning the shop under his brand name, we found out he committed fraud, and it was possible that he would end up robbing us if we didn't do something about it. We called some lawyers and did a lot of paperwork in order to terminate the contract we had with them. After that, we had to build a new brand from scratch because he could no longer use his. We can no longer use his. It's about 2 months since that happened. Just thought this information might be useful. Why? I guess the question is, why would you pay for a name if you're buying? I guess you're getting the business. You want something that's established. I get it. I guess it would depend on the price of the name, because that to me, if you needed a lawyer to be able to cut that out, it seems like you paid a lot of money for the name. And I personally would probably just rebrand it because it's new owners, new everything, but it's the same shop. So hopefully people are going to equate that. It's like, oh, it's the boba shop. It's just a different name. We had a similar situation in the town that I'm in. There's a coffee shop. The owner decided to sell it. The new owners changed the name. It was fine. It's still going pretty good. That's my first thought. When it comes to attracting new businesses, a boba shop, I'm not the biggest knowledgeable about boba shops. I would imagine that would be something kind of more like to just have a whole shop dedicated to boba. I see that more as like a food truck, something that you can go to events. That's where I would probably kind of push it, be where all of the other food items are going to be. And that way, you could be with other food trucks. People get their food from the food, and then they get the boba drinks from you. That's where I've seen it work really well. Being able to hitch up the food truck, go to fairs, going to events, being able to sell at premium at those kind of places. If you're wanting to change the way that you're doing your business, that's where I would probably go. Going down to just a food truck, it's going to be cheaper. You're not going to have to be paying rent. You're going to be paying payment on that food truck. You have a lot more options, a lot more mobility, and to be able to go to events and places that are going to be able to build your brand, as opposed to just, we're stuck in this little strip mall and you're going to a boba shop just for the boba shop. I run a comic shop in a town that has no idea I exist, and I don't know if that's my fault or the town's fault. 8 years in a mid-sized college town, comic board games, paint nights, weekly D&D groups, tournaments, Saturdays. The shop is a real thing for regulars. Maybe 60 active customers who come in every month or every other. The town doesn't know me. I've had people walk past the storefront for years and ask, wait, has this been here? Local newspapers have never written about us. Chamber of Commerce doesn't include us in anything. The university's gaming club rents space at the public library when I would obviously host them if anyone asks. I do my part. I show up to the Commerce Breakfast, sponsor the high school robotics club, hold open events, run things on social. None of it has moved the needle on the shop being something that the town knows about. The one thing that's actually worked kind of is email. I have about 140 of my regulars on it. I send a weekly email through Streamlit, email showing new arrivals, upcoming events, tournament results, and the occasional personal note. One open rate is 61%, which I'm told is absurdly high for retail. Those 140 people are my actual business. They show up, they spend, they bring friends once in a while. The thing is I'm trying to figure out is whether I should try breaking into the wider awareness or whether the actual business is the 60 regulars, and trying to be a town place is the wrong goal. Maybe a comic and game shop is supposed to be a niche spot for the people who want it, and the town is walking past us just the deal. Walking past is just the deal. Okay. If you run a niche retail spot, did you eventually crack town-wide visibility, or do you stop trying? And which decision was right looking back? So I think that there's a couple of things that you could probably do to be able to expand your business. Have you tried reaching out to like those college groups that host, go to the library? Encourage them. Go to the library event, maybe bring games to that and introduce yourself. If they're not going to go to the library, you go to the library, you participate. Going on to, it's a college, go to the bulletin boards on the college and put up little flyers with you get to take down the tab to be able to say, hey, this is where we're doing game nights, go check it out. One thing that I thought about, because I just went to our local game store, similar to your type of store, is that you can create a system in which people can find other people to play games with, and your store is a safe place to be able to play that game. And so say there are people who love Catan. Well, I want to find other Catan players that I don't know about, and so you can be the broker basically between these two people. This person goes, I want Catan, this person wants to play Catan, they come to your shop, maybe you have some snacks that they can buy, and then you become the safe place. And as it grows, people will want to use you as the broker. I want Warhammer. This person plays Warhammer. This plays in Magic. Well, I'll pair it up with this person and they can play in your shop. That's the goal I would go, is trying to find other avenues to be able to bring people in and encourage them to come in and to go to the events, and maybe even be the sponsor for the events at the library, and then eventually maybe they'll bring them back to your shop. But that's what I would do if I had that kind of situation. Is delaying vendor payments basically a business strategy now? Before the project starts, constant calls, quick replies, let's close this fast. After delivery, crickets, silence. Calls not picked up, messages ignored, payments gets pushed with, we'll do it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. Genuinely feel like some businesses are managing cash flow by just not paying vendors on time. Currently dealing with a client who was super responsive before the work and now won't even reply. Payment is still pending. How common is this, and how do you deal with it without burning bridges but still getting paid? Excuse me. Sorry about that. So I would look at this as a situation. If this has happened to you a lot, in the contract, you build due dates and then penalties for missing those due dates. And contact a lawyer before you do this. I'm not a lawyer. Contact a lawyer, payment specialist. That way you're getting your ducks in a row. But when you're putting it in the contract, you say payment is due X amount of time after the project is delivered. And if you do not, then it is a 5% penalty. And then for every month that you're, not paying, another 5%, 2%, whatever percentage your lawyers feel that you can get away with, without potentially losing the sale. That way you're able to give them an incentive for actually paying on time. That's the route I would go, and I've seen that constantly. And if they don't, after a while, then be like, this is going to collections, and the late fees are still compounding on. So best website builder for small businesses in 2026. I'm building a site for an actual business and not a hobby or a blog. And I keep landing on Wix or WordPress, which as the two real contenders, but the options are all over the place. I'm not a developer. I need something I can manage without hiring someone every time I want to change a page. But I also don't want to pick a platform I'll outgrow in a year. Here's where I'm stuck. Scaling. People say Wix is great until you outgrow it. But what does outgrow it actually mean? Like, is that 1,000 visitors a month, 100,000? Has anyone actually hit the ceiling and had to migrate? What broke first? WordPress complexity. I am not a developer. Every time someone recommends WordPress, they casually mention plugins, hosting, security updates, PHP. Yeah. SEO. This matters the most to me. I need my site to show up on Google. I've heard conflicting things about which platform gives you more control over meta tags, page speed, structured data, and indexing. If you've seen real ranking differences between the two, I'd love to hear it. One more thing, I keep seeing developers say drag and drop builders are a trap because you lose control over your code. He's not a coder. It doesn't matter. For someone running a local or small online business, does this really matter? Or is that just a developer gatekeeping? If you run a business on either platform, I'd love to know, what platform are you on? What do you do? What should you do? What should you pay monthly? And what's the thing that you wish you knew before you had committed things in advance? So I've been developing websites for 15 years or something like that. I've done WordPress development for those 15 years. I've used Wix, I've used a lot of these, and it really does boil down to what your business is. And he really doesn't say what his business is, whether he is selling something online or whether he is a plumber and he just needs his hours posted. Now, if you are the latter and you're just a plumber, you're just wanting to have something that just shows your hours, a little bit about me, what are my services, something like Wix, Squarespace, Zoho Builder is a really good option to be able to just pop your website out there and to be able to utilize that. If you're wanting something with a little bit more complexity, then you're going to have to, it's going to depend heavily on what you're wanting. If you're wanting a restaurant and you're wanting to do online orders or something like that, there's going to be specialist software that you're going to want to use for that, special website-based software for that. I'm not familiar all that much with that. If you're wanting to sell something, and it depends, again, how many people you are selling to. I believe Wix, Squarespace, Zoho Builder, they all have mechanisms for you to be able, Zoho itself just has mechanisms for you to be able to sell. I personally am a fan of Zoho when it comes to just new businesses in general, because you can, for like one small price, be able to get your website, your email, like getting a CRM, getting invoicing software, all those things all wrapped up into one tool. So no matter what your business model is, you will be able to sell. And I like Zoho when it comes to that. Zoho Sites is a very easy to use drag and drop software to be able to actually build those websites. When it comes to SEO, the biggest thing is not going to be like your meta tags or the granular code about it. It's going to be visibility. You've got to get your site out there. You got to get on Google Business, put your website in there so that when people are looking up your business, the websites aren't going to be the first thing that comes up. It's going to be a map with here are all the businesses in the area that you're wanting to be on, and that's going to be the visibility thing. If you're a local business. If you're going to be an online retailer, then yeah, SEO is going to be a bigger part of the game, and maybe you do need to potentially look at WordPress, and you're going to need a developer if you utilize WordPress. If you're selling something online, it's not local at all, it may be a WordPress thing, it may be a Shopify thing at that point. It really heavily depends on what your end goal is, what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to do. So hopefully that helps. That is all I have for you today. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. help out the algorithm. And if you came across this naturally, thanks for going through the whole thing. Hit that subscribe button for more small business content. And if you agreed or even disagreed with anything that I said, there's a comment section. Let me know what you would have done differently in any of those scenarios. That news. But thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.